What's up guys, AliPlays123 back with another video, and in today's video I am going to be sculpting Bub World and Lake of Myth from KS Galaxy TCG. So before we start the sculpting process, which is going to be a whole different type of sculpting than I've done before on this channel, I want to show you this binder. I decided, since I did my sculpting or sculpture showcase, that I wanted to pick out some cards that I could sculpt. And one of the main types of cards I looked for were environment cards. The biggest reason for that is that I have a new display thing. It is a display box that is the exact same size as my shelf, and of course the stands, the wooden stands I use. Yeah, so that's what I came up with. However, let's see what I pulled from all of KS Galaxy. I looked through all of the sets. I'm sure there are some environment cards I don't have, but I have a huge collection, as I'm sure most of you know. So here are some of the Gaia's environment cards and a tree card. I figured I could make maybe a night jungle environment using all the trees. That's one idea. I have a Roka environment card, some Shios ones. I have some Sindel ones up here. This one, don't know for sure where it goes. A couple borrow cards here. These are both Syndian cards. Yeah, we have some more borrow cards over here. There are a lot of borrow cards. And then we have Pelisium, which I think, yep, that's our last page. All right, so I'm going to show you something that is pretty cool. I had started to create a map from a VR game. Turned out to be very time consuming, and I don't know. I'm just not really into the game anymore, and so I've decided to instead make KS Galaxy stuff. We need to think about where we want everything to go and what we want it to look like and all that stuff, so let's figure that out. Alright, so I got that all smoothed out and blended together, and I went ahead and tried to figure out some sort of way I can make all these different textures in the mountain, because, you know, sometimes you just gotta figure out different techniques for even just individual sculptures. The mountain does seem to have, it looks like it might be snow, I would assume it's snow, and it's just really bumpy and all different random textures, and so I want to capture that by trying my hardest to do that here. And so what I'm first doing is I'm going through with this tool, roughing up the edges. So now for the cliff, I'm going to go through and first add in some lines, because what I want to do is sort of create different bends in the cliff. All right. Continuing my process of figuring this out as I go along, because I have not done this before, making snow at this scale, I am going to take a big ball stylus and roll it around. But yeah, let's see. The Lake of Myth is a perfect circle. So we're going to have the Lake of Myth path coming this way. Alright, so here's where I have the Lake of Myth at right now. Hopefully the camera works zooming in. The path is looking really good. It will look even better once I paint it because I can do a color that will highlight the cracks. But I went ahead and made those two things around the Lake of Myth. The Lake of Myth is really deep, and that's because I want to add resin into it. For the bubbles, I thought it through. I'm going to, we'll use just the small side over here. Poke a little hole in the ground, kind of make the ground around it sort of cave in. And we're going to roll out a bubble. Now, I have a couple other things I'm going to do off camera. I'm going to scoot this up. I'm going to finish off these details, then we're going to bake it. After baking, all that will be left is making these two characters over here, and then making the big island. Alright, so it is all cleaned up and baked, as you can see. Let's make some character armatures. Alright, so I finished making some simple armatures for my little characters here. I'm going to now start sculpting on them. Alright, so here is some progress on Transmudge. It's time to figure out what I want to do with this little island. Alright, so I'm going to use wires to make some trees and all that, just simple stuff. I'm going to do that off camera, then I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, and there we go. This is what the island is looking like. So we are nearing completion of this model. We are getting very close, and I really love how I was able to capture all these details. It was not easy. I mean this stuff is small. It is really small, and so yeah. But I am now starting to work on the icicles, and so I made a couple already. My plan is to use these holes I pre-poked. I'm going to put a bunch of these really skinny wires in there, like this one. Just going to stick it right in to any of the holes. Look all that good. So yeah, that's the first step I'm going to do, and then I thought to make it look more like an icicle, I could use some of this bacon bond. Put some down here. And then, I'll get off the desk. I'm going to use my skinniest ball stylus to put it right down at the edge. So this will sort of blend it into the thing, or the island, just like it's growing out of the island. Alright, and here it is. Fresh out of the oven. Let's take this apart. A little support I made for it. And look at that. Wow. I think that turned out really good. These are amazing. Look amazing. And let's see what it looks like with this. And I'm not going to glue this in, because when I'm painting the base, I'm going to want to paint it without this in the way, just because that's easier. But put it like that. And there we go. Alright, let's transfer it into the clear display box, and then we can get some good looks at it. And there it is, in the display case. As you can see, this display case is really high quality, and it fits it perfectly. The sculpt is definitely cut to size, and I love it. Now, this is obviously for when it's on display on my shelf, but when I do go to take the pictures, because I like to take pictures and edit them of all my sculptures, I will take it out of this. So I'm not going to glue the clear part on, but I am going to glue the clay to the black base. I'm also going to take some time to sand the sides of the black, or of the sculpture, so that it can be smoother and a better fit. So, yeah. But I guess with that, we're all done with the sculpture. Bug World and Lake of Myth. This was my first environment sculpture for Case Galaxy, and I definitely want to make some more after having done this one, because it was really enjoyable. The video that is going to follow this one will be painting this piece and adding in the resin. So I will be doing it I always do it in 2 videos. That's just how I've always done it. So yeah, anyways, with that being said, thanks for checking out this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.